teaching how birth order in larger families plays a role on how you become how you're raised. In my own family, there's 3 of us kids, so we play our own role. But the bigger your family is, the more specific your role will become. So at this time, I'm gonna ask, many of us come from different sizes of families. So if you're the only child, raise your hand. How about the oldest child? The middle child? And last but not least, the youngest child. Only children are unique in birth order, and many children suffer with OCS, otherwise known as only children syndrome, which comes from their adulthood. The people that have no siblings are more likely to have less developed social skills, antisocial tendencies, which have carried on from their childhood. According to a Healthline article by Stanley Hall, child psychologist, some cons of an only child are they are spoiled, selfish, maladjusted, bossy, and finally, lonely. Those who buy into this theory believe only childs are accustomed to getting whatever they want, and one of them is undivided attention, since they're the only kid in the family, and their parents, their parents are. E.W. Bowen also stated in the Healthline article, child psychologists stated some advantages of an only child is their achievement, intelligence, and creativity. These individuals also have better relationships with their parents and may also have fewer behavioral problems in school. So along comes the first child, which tends to be spoiled since their parents don't dare do something wrong with the first one. So let's get a better look at the firstborns in the family. Firstborns bask in their parents' presence, and this is why they may act like many adults since they didn't have anyone to play with, no younger siblings when when they were growing up. And these individuals excel at almost everything. Some examples are they're reliable, they're achievers, and they're structured. And those are just a few examples, and they may be even controlling, which who knows if that's a good thing or not. Frank Farley, a psychologist at Temple University in Philadelphia, who has studied personality and human development for decades, states, undivided attention may have a lot to do with why firstborns tend to be overachievers. These individuals face many challenges growing up, and one of them may be not being the center of attention anymore when other children in their family come along. So let's not forget about the forgotten child, or should I say the middle child. When many of us talk, I'm sure we can all agree that when we talk about the middle child, we kind of say that they're the forgotten ones. This leads middle children to make their mark among their peers. Parental attention is normally on the firstborn or the baby of the family. Some traits of the middle children are they're people pleasers, rebellious, peacemakers, and classified as go-with-the-flow types of people. They have to learn how to negotiate as younger sibling comes along, and stated by a British parenting website named British Psychological Society, in the year 2022, a third of parents with 3 kids have proven that they give their middle child far less attention than they give the other 2. So finally, the youngest. The youngest are free-spirited, and their parents are on the downhill of parenting. And they don't spend as much time, they're normally known for winning their attention. So some characteristics are natural charmers, outgoing, social personality, and fun fact is most comedians and actors are normally the youngest child in the family because they have to win their attention to get recognized. And Dr. Lehman, international known psychologist and famous and award-winning artist, notes, none of their accomplishments seem original, since most of their siblings have already learned how to read, ride a bike, talk, so parents react with less spontaneous joy at their accomplishments. A little story about my own personal family is, like I said before, I come from a family of 3, and we match up pretty well with the characteristics. My oldest brother, he always has to know what my parents are doing because he grew that extra close bond with my parents growing up. And he always has to be back home in Valley. And then my middle brother, he just is a people pleaser. He goes with the flow. Whether he likes it or not, he will do it. And then Me, myself, I'm kind of social. I like to do new things, meet new people, try new things. And so today, I talk to you about the characteristics of an only child, oldest child, middle child, and finally youngest. So you can either take the advice I gave you today, or you can be rebellious and be a rule breaker, since that's a lot more enjoyable. But please, I'm asking you, do not kill anyone.